Hi, thank you for joining me. Please hit like, subscribe, and please share. Also, take a look at my Patreon site, and if you like what I'm saying and you think what I have to offer is worth pursuing, please think about subscribing to that too. So today I'm just going to have a quick chat about language and the importance of language. All this came from somebody offering me a non-vegan cake, and I declined. I said that I can't eat that because I'm vegan, and their reply, which annoyed me, was, no, you can eat that, you won't eat that. And so their attempt to correct me caused me some annoyance, and here's the reason why it annoyed me. Because I studied philosophy and logic and the philosophy of language, and language is incredibly important to me. So why do I think they were wrong? Well, it's pretty simple, really. They were implying by saying I won't rather than I can't that my ethics are simply a matter of choice and don't require any behaviours. And this ignores the fact that both language and claims to belong to an ethical or belief-based group are dependent on rules. So if I claim to belong to a group that requires me to adhere to certain behaviours, and I choose whether or not to follow them, and I'm not really a representative member of that group. If I can act outside of those rules, that means that I'm excluding myself from that group. So in order to call myself a vegan, I most definitely could not eat that cake. It's not a case of would not, I could not. So let me give you an example. So the person who offered me the cake calls themselves a Christian. I do too. Now, if I were to say to a Christian, can you pray to multiple gods? And I don't mean the triumvirate of three godheads. I mean multiple gods in the form of Hinduism or various other beliefs that have polytheistic basis. And a Christian would, I expect, say, I cannot pray to multiple gods because I'm a Christian. Not I will not, they will say I cannot. And why are they saying I cannot? Because if they say I will not, they are precluding themselves from that group that calls themselves Christian. Christians cannot do that. You can't pray to multiple gods and call yourself a Christian. So, it's absurd to call yourself a part of a group and then choose whether or not you act according to the rules in that group. You have to, otherwise you don't belong there. So that's how simple that is. So when non-vegans say being a vegan is a choice, they're mistaken. When you hold a set of beliefs that require you to be compassionate and to avoid harm, then it's incumbent upon you to be a vegan. If you choose not to be, then you forego the right to identify as a member of any group that promotes compassion and the avoidance of harm. It's pretty simple. This isn't an opinion, it's by definition true. So while lots of people I know are caring, compassionate and seek to avoid harm, and yet aren't vegan, there are many reasons why that is. And those reasons are all based on a lack of cognizance of the facts. Because if they know what's going on, they know what is required to produce animal products, the harm, the suffering and the cruelty involved, and then they would not choose to carry on in a non-vegan way with their lifestyle. If they did, then that would mean that they are not caring, compassionate and seeking to avoid harm. Because once you're aware that your choices are the opposite of those things, then, as I said before, it's incumbent on you to become vegan. If you choose not to, you know, that is your choice. You can choose to not have those attributes, but you cannot then belong to any group that requires you to hold those attributes. So once you're aware of those things, there are no reasons whatsoever to prevent you going vegan. The only thing that remains are excuses. And there's a massive difference between reasons and excuses. Another language issue we can look at in a future episode. So let me know what you thought. So give me some feedback, and I'm happy to discuss, debate, or chat privately if anyone wants to. So let me know what you think.